There's something almost ritualistic about the gun world every January. SHOT Show wraps, and suddenly, every feed, forum, and range conversation explodes with the same 5 words. Did you see that caliber? Manufacturers unveil new rounds with pressure curves that defy belief, velocity charts that flatten like deserts, and names that sound like they were forged in a DoD black site. This year, 2025, came in hot. No subtle launches, no soft buzz, just full-blown ballistic hype storms. But after the banners fall and the influencers fly home, one thing matters more than glossy specs. Can the damn thing shoot? And does it make sense to own? What follows is not just a list, it's a field report. These are the most hyped calibers of 2025. And today, we're going to find out exactly what they're worth, round by round. Among all the rounds launched in 2025, nothing sparked more discussion or division than the .277 Fury. Originally developed for the U.S. military's next-generation squad weapon program, it arrived with serious expectations. This is not just a modified hunting cartridge in a new suit. It's a hybrid case, high-pressure, high-velocity projectile designed to do what both 5.56 and 7.62 couldn't. The numbers are impressive. The Fury operates at chamber pressures around 80,000 psi, far beyond traditional brass limits. This is made possible by a unique 3-piece case with a stainless steel base, allowing insane pressure without turning your bolt face into scrap metal. Muzzle velocities hover around 3,000 FPS with a 135-grain bullet, giving it striking energy similar to .308. But in a shorter package and lighter rifle, even with all that power, it's not a cartridge you can just casually run through weekend drills. The heat, the pressure, and the barrel wear are real factors, especially if you're planning high-volume shooting. That brings us to the SIG MCX Speer. This rifle didn't just ride the wave, it helped create it. With a monolithic upper non-reciprocating charging handle, adjustable gas, and a recoil impulse that feels surprisingly manageable for the power it delivers. The Speer is every bit a flagship. Ergonomics are tight, machining is flawless, and it accepts familiar accessories, which helps justify the price tag, somewhat. But nothing comes without trade-offs. This system is not drop-in compatible with your current AR-15 or AR-10. The .277 Fury requires a proprietary barrel, bolt, and magazines, essentially locking you into a dedicated setup. Ammunition is expensive, hovering around $2.50 to $3 per round if you can even find it on shelves. Reloading is limited, given the complexity of the hybrid case. And unless you're operating in a tactical environment where every foot-pound of energy matters, the benefits may not outweigh the cost. The Fury and Speer combo delivers serious performance. It hits hard, cycles smoothly, and lives up to the engineering behind it. But that kind of tech comes at a price, in dollars, in gear, and in practicality. Shooters looking for military-grade performance in a civilian package will find this system compelling. Everyone else might call it overbuilt for the job. Federal's 7mm Backcountry didn't arrive quietly. It hit the 2025 SHOT Show floor wrapped in alloy and attitude. Federal didn't just throw out a new caliber, they engineered it specifically for weight-conscious hunters who need reach without the burden of a full-length Magnum rifle. Designed for hunters who count ounces and inches with the same urgency as feet and yards, this cartridge pushes the limits of what lightweight long-range hunting can look like. It runs on Federal's new Peak alloy case, rated for up to 80,000 psi. That's Magnum class power without the bulk or shoulder surgery. The performance numbers are the kind that make old-school 30-06 fans raise an eyebrow. A 140-grain bullet can reach nearly 3,150 feet per second, with flatter drop and more retained energy at 500 yards than most .270s or traditional 7mm Rem Mag loads. And yet, it does all that in a smaller, lighter rifle profile. Less gun, more go. Geissele King Hunter is one of the few rifles chambered in 7mm backcountry that does the cartridge justice. It's not just a hunting rifle, it's a precision tool wrapped in utilitarian elegance. The King Hunter features a cold, hammer-forged barrel, crisp 2-stage trigger, and chassis-grade fit without the tactical cosplay. The result is a rifle that hits hard, carries light, and won't fold under field conditions. This combo is made for hunters who push deep, backpackers chasing elk on foot across elevation. In that context, the payoff is real. Less fatigue, quicker shots, better wind resistance, and enough knockdown power to anchor a large game with margin. But it doesn't bend well to compromises. Ammo availability is still limited, especially outside the western US. The PEAK alloy cases aren't reload-friendly, and the cost per box will make even seasoned handloaders wince. Anyone who only hunts from a tree stand or zeros for 200 yards on flat land will struggle to justify this setup. That doesn't make it bad. It just means it's built for a very specific kind of shooter. In the right hands and terrain, this pairing turns distance into confidence. Anywhere else, it might feel like strapping a jet engine to a mountain bike. There's a certain kind of shooter who's always trying to squeeze more punch out of the AR platform. For that crowd, Hornady's 338. ARC wasn't just interesting, it was irresistible. Developed as the largest cartridge still compatible with the AR-15 magazine, with modification. This round delivers serious mass downrange, especially when paired with suppressors and subsonic loads. It's a round that dares to occupy a strange, underserved niche, offering large-caliber energy in a platform most shooters already own in their safe. It's not subtle. This cartridge pushes a 225-grain bullet with enough authority to handle hogs, black bear, and anything else short of a grizzly. Subsonic? Still heavy enough to do work. Supersonic? Flat enough for ethical shots out to 400 yards with the right optic. It opens new doors for hunters who've grown bored with 6.5 and want something that sounds like thunder and hits like a truck. Bear Creek Arsenal jumped on the opportunity with their BC-10 SOCOM variant, offering a budget-conscious platform to get into 338 ARC without gutting your gun fund. Is it fancy? Not particularly, but it gets the job done. The billet receiver, mid-length gas, and simple furniture reflect a no-frills approach to handling a cartridge that's anything but mild. Here's the thing, it's not a plug-and-play upgrade. Feeding and reliability depend heavily on mag geometry, gas tuning, and buffer weight. Shooters who just slap an upper on their favorite lower and expect perfection are in for a headache. But with a little patience and a willingness to tune, the result is a truly unique AR that turns heads at the range and drops game in the field. The 338 ARC isn't trying to be all things to all shooters. It's a hammer, not a scalpel. That means recoil is noticeable. Ammo is hard to find in many regions, and barrel life is still a bit of a question mark. But in an era where different often means little more than a new paint job, this one brings genuine capability to the table. If you've ever looked at your 5.56 and thought, I need more violence in my life, this may be exactly what you've been waiting for. Not every headline in 2025 screamed brand new. Some of them whispered, still here, and better. The 6.5 Creedmoor didn't arrive this year in a blaze of revolutionary tech. Instead, it doubled down on refinement, with updated loadings using newer propellants and ultra-consistent bullets. The round has managed to shave off drop at extended ranges and tighten standard deviation figures that were already solid. Shooters running the latest 2025 loadings have reported groups tightening by a quarter MOA on average, especially in cooler climates where temperature swings used to cause vertical spread. This isn't about chasing trends. It's about squeezing out every last bit of performance from a cartridge that's already earned its reputation on both steel and meat. For match shooters and hunters alike, the improvements aren't dramatic, but they're meaningful. Smoother recoil impulse, less vertical dispersion at 800 yards, and more consistent performance in varying temps. That's what matters on a hillside or at a match. Aero Precision's Solus Bolt Action Chassis Rifle has quietly become a go-to for precision shooters who want modern features without boutique pricing. The action runs smooth, the adjustable trigger breaks clean, and the aluminum chassis feels solid without being obnoxiously tactical. It bridges that gap between competition-ready and hunt-friendly. The rifle also benefits from Aero's ecosystem of modular parts and clean manufacturing. You don't have to fight with proprietary mounts or chase obscure torque specs just to get your optic level. Drop it in, zero, and it holds. Unlike the other calibers in this lineup, this one doesn't try to impress with brute force or novelty. It sticks to what works, and works well. That reliability is its biggest advantage. The ammo's easy to find. The support community is massive, and if something breaks, you're one email away from a solution. In a world where everyone's shouting to be heard, 6.5. Creedmoor just keeps putting rounds where they need to go. No drama, no surprises, just results. Lead bans aren't coming. They've already arrived in several states, and manufacturers have started responding. Winchester's 21 Sharp is one of the more practical attempts to replace the classic 22 LR for those living in lead-restricted zones. It's a rimfire cartridge with a lightweight, lead-free projectile that clocks in faster than most 22 LR loads while claiming tighter groups at 50 and 75 yards. Early adopters in California and parts of New York report reliable ignition and decent pest-stopping performance under real-world conditions, something lead-free rimfire often struggled with in the past. The numbers back it up. Barely. Velocity is up. Trajectory is slightly flatter. And some shooters have reported more reliable ignition in cold conditions. The Sharp doesn't completely outclass the 22, but it performs respectably in the kind of short to mid-range scenarios rimfire was made for: plinking, pest control, and entry-level training. Where this cartridge finds its legs is in the Wildcat 21. Winchester didn't try to reinvent rimfire ergonomics. They kept it familiar, added some modern tweaks like a robust polymer stock and toolless takedown, and made sure it ran clean. The bolt cycle's smooth, the trigger's crisp enough for its category, and the magazines feed with fewer tantrums than your average 22 semi-auto. That said, this combo isn't built to impress anyone chasing innovation. It's not flashy, it doesn't demand a suppressor, and it won't give you long-range street cred, but it solves a regulatory problem with minimal compromise, and that makes it valuable. For new shooters, youth programs, or just plain weekend fun where lead is off the table, the Sharp and Wildcat setup delivers quiet consistency. It's the kind of kit you hand to someone on their first day at the range, and they leave with a smile and a clean target. Some calibers don't ask for attention, they command it. The 300 PRC didn't explode onto the market with gimmicks or social media stunts. It earned its place by consistently performing in the most unforgiving scenarios shooters can throw at it. Developed by Hornady and standardized a few years ago, it's become a favorite in precision hunting circles and long-range competitions where inch groups at 1,000 yards aren't negotiable. What separates the 300 PRC from your average Magnum is its design philosophy. The cartridge was built from the ground up to stabilize long, high BC bullets in modern rifles without compromise. No made-to-fit adaptations. It's clean, it's balanced, and it works extremely well at extended distances. Wind holds are tighter, energy retention is excellent, and for those chasing elk beyond 600 yards, it checks every box with confidence. Enter the Christensen Arms MPR. This rifle doesn't try to be minimalist. It leans into performance with a carbon-wrapped barrel, skeletonized aluminum chassis, vertical grip, and full adjustability across the board. The action runs glassy, the brake does its job, and the weight is manageable enough to hike, if you're stubborn or in very good shape. None of this comes cheap. The rifle sits comfortably in the premium tier, and 300 PRC ammo isn't what you'd call bulk pack friendly. Recoil is sharp, but predictable. You'll feel it, but it won't punish you like some older 300 Win Mag setups. This combination was never meant for casual shooters. It's a precision system for those who dial elevation without second guessing, who hand load with purpose, and who expect every piece of gear to do its job under pressure. On the bench, in the field, or on the side of a wind-cut mountain, this pairing speaks clearly, and it rarely misses. After digging through specs, dragging rifles to the range, and comparing recoil charts like they're tax returns, one thing stands out. Hype is rarely the problem. The real question is application. Some of these calibers deliver exactly what they claim, but only if your use case matches their design. Others offer small gains that come with big demands, whether it's cost, logistics, or gear changes that leave your existing setup in the dust. What the past year showed is that innovation isn't just louder, it's smarter. We're seeing cartridges designed not just to hit harder, but to do so more efficiently, with better case construction, temperature tolerance, and trajectory behavior. The market is maturing, but so is the shooter. You're not just chasing energy numbers anymore. You're chasing consistency, compatibility, and control. The 277 Fury is a performance juggernaut. If you can feed it, the 7mm Backcountry is a hunter's dream in brutal terrain. 338 ARC brings heavy punch versatility to a familiar platform, but it asks you to build around it. Meanwhile, 65. Creedmoor keeps showing up like the calm, collected guy who wins without making noise, and the 21 Sharp, quietly solving problems no one wants to talk about. If any of these caught your attention, or pissed you off, I want to hear about it. Drop a comment below with the caliber you're betting on this year, or tell me which one's just hype in a fancy head stamp. Thanks for hanging out. More range runs and hard takes coming soon. Stay sharp, keep your zero tight, and I'll catch you in the next one.